themed around this topic. So those half a dozen students who have emptiness and subtle body realization, they've given talks, and some of these talks will be published on the Open Heart YouTube channel. But we've also just talked a lot about our experiences and our discoveries and so on. And this is actually another something that we were just discussing as a Sangha yesterday, this open discussion, pragmatic discussion, open sharing of experiences and views. This is also something that doesn't happen in traditional Dharma. So, as far as I'm aware, there isn't other Sangha where people openly speak about their awakening experiences and awakening process and cessations, nirodhas, and the details of the ins and outs. As far as I'm aware, there is no other Sangha like ours. But here's the thing. Like I always when I've spoken about this, here's the thing. It's just like learning different subjects at school. You know, when kids go to school, they are taught mathematics, biology, reading, writing, and so on. And because the kids are learning these subjects at school, they are talking about it with their teacher, and the teacher then gives advice and instructions, what is what, so the kids learn it. And I never understood why this kind of pragmatic discussion, why this kind of learning and study is not really used in Dharma. I do not understand why people don't talk about their internal experiences, including the most important one of those, samadhis and awakening experiences. So this kind of personal sharing, I'm not talking about taking a Lotus Sutra or taking Avatamsaka Sutra or taking tantric texts and then just going through the text. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about speaking of personal experiences and personal awakenings, something that you know or don't know through your first-hand experience. I'm talking about that, and that is a completely different discussion. But that discussion, as we've seen in our Sangha, is that this is the most fertile practice context. So it is simply, and it makes perfect sense, doesn't it, that there is nothing, it seems like there are these weird superstitions, kind of like mystical beliefs around this. Many, I can think of many teachers who say that if you speak about your awakening experience, your most intimate discoveries, it will somehow have, how to say, adverse or negative effects. No, that is not true. This is total superstition. Total superstition. It doesn't work like that. So if you, let's see if a dozen years ago, we started talking about the first awakening experience. That was what we were working on at the time. And I was a little bit sensitive about it because I had heard many famous masters say that you shouldn't talk about that stuff in public, or otherwise there will be some negative consequences, harmful consequences coming from it. So I was a bit sensitive, but I still felt like in my heart it made only sense that it would only benefit those who are seeking for this awakening. And I was exactly right. And I've kept doing that. My students have kept doing that, speaking openly for all these years, and now it is perfectly 100% clear that these superstitious elements are superstition. They are nonsense. It is not accurate. So what comes out of sharing Dharma openly is immense positive waves of bodhicitta, compassion, love. It is actual expression of bodhicitta, our nature, to share, to openly share, to speak about the very things that liberate people from their delusions, from their afflictive emotions, from their samsaric existence. How could that not be only beneficial? But of course, if you believe, if you are stuck with the, let's say, fixated dogmatic view that it is harmful, then that will restrict you. Then you will start thinking in weird ways. But if you drop that and understand that, oh, this has benefited me, this has benefited others, people are actually learning the Dharma, recognizing their Buddha nature, their likeness with God through this sharing, it is apparent. But if you deny it, then you deny it. Yeah. So even the famous greatest masters, they don't have all the answers. So they are also, many of them, and there are many examples of this. I'm not denying that some great masters, that they are real masters. I have the highest respect for them. But cultural beliefs and norms do have a role in this. And not all masters have gone through the process of questioning their cultural norms and cultural proceedings. This is my point. So let's be clear about that. Okay. I have to move on with my morning practice.